Good morning, folks. New week's arrived. More nonsense in the newspapers, no doubt. We'll just get Facebook on board, then we'll get this thing underway. I hope you all had a great weekend. I had an average weekend. Shopping on Saturday. Resting Sunday. And back to work this evening. Okay, that's Facebook on board. We can take that then. Right, morning, who's in? Hello, Robert McInnes, Lorna Shields, Eddie Wolfie, Aki's Mad, Rosie McGregor, Kirsty Foggs. Who else we got? Hi, Melanie, first of the Facebookers in. That was quick. Let's keep going. Hi, Alex. Hi, Fiona. Hi, Ange. Hi, Margaret. How are you this morning, Margaret? Hope you're well. Hi, Desiree. Numbers are climbing nicely. Hi, Julie. Julie, what are we going to do after we get independence? Put our shoulder to the fucking wheel and make sure that they don't create something in the image of that fucking monstrosity's place 475 miles from my fucking door in another country. That's what we're going to do after independence, Julie. We're going to put our shoulder to the wheel and make sure whatever we create is no like that down that road. Oh, we've got a legend this morning. Let's see who the legend is. Hi, Alan. Mr. Milligan, I'm live. No, everybody else has found me, David. Right, okay, I'll try again. Okay. Fine out. That's the other one making it onto the Legends board, interrupting the live broadcast. Right, let's get this underway, shall we? Andy Truck Davy out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's not a bad morning, dry, thin high cloud, masking the sun a wee bit, and it's currently 15 degrees, with expectations of again to 20 degrees today. Shouldn't be a bad day. Now, the pollen count's low, and the main allergen, for those who have hay fever, like myself, is birch. Okay. Avro Lamb, you can't find you. Well, how do you manage to misplace yourself, Avro? Wow. What are these people? David can't find us on the YouTube channel. Avro's misplaced herself this morning. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, a wee woman in the supermarket said that to me a couple of weeks ago. She came up to me and says, "You seen a wee guy about 5'6", flat cap, green jacket, and brown trousers? I've misplaced my husband." I said, "The fuck do you misplace a person?" Wow. Mental. Right. First up this morning, folks, we have the Scotsman, right as we hit the 100 mark. So, anyway, let's say that's the weather here. I know what the weather's like with you. I'll look at your rain one day. Right, first up this morning, we have the Scotsman. What's the Scotsman got for us this morning? Shall we see what nonsense it has today? Scotsman, Swinney dubs Labour's blitz on migration absolute folly. Starmer vows to tighten up every area with raft of reform. And this is Labour trying to out for eyes. They'll never be able to do it. Even if they were to close migration altogether, inward migration altogether, and outward migration, we would still have the people coming out on the wee boats. There's no way to appease the right on this. The best way to deal with this is to fucking ignore it. The other thing is they're trying to grow the economy. They're going to need workforce. We've got an ageing population. And after COVID, half the people my age haven't went back to fucking work. They don't need to. They can afford not to. Stupidness. Absolute stupidness. Try to out for eyes. But actually, when you get right down to it, McSweeney's that far to the right, he makes Farage look like a fanny. So I guess because he's Starmer's puppet master, then it makes sense that Labour would do something stupid like this. You couldn't make it up. Yeah, you could. You couldn't make it up. Absolute stupidness. Try out for us. We've got whole sectors of the economy that are desperate for people. And they're going to shut the door. Fucking madness. Right, next up, the Times. What's the Times got for us this morning? No, that ain't it. Here we go. The Times. Zelensky ready to meet Putin for peace talks in Istanbul. Let's hope something progressive comes out of the meeting. And migrants must earn their right to remain. Let's blow this up a few minutes, see what the subline there is. Reform will consider tax and volunteer work. For what? And apparently weight loss jab helps body destroy cancer cells. Well, actually, folks, the weight loss jab hasn't been around long enough to actually be able to quantify what it does. But because of the weight loss thing, there are 13 specific cancers which are related to obesity. And what they're saying is if you take the weight loss jab and you lose weight, then you're less likely to get obesity-related cancer. But to actually make such a statement for something that hasn't been around that long, the theory is that if you lose the weight, you won't be subjected to these obesity-related cancers. There's no evidence for anything that has been said there in that headline. That's just them trying to get fat people here in the UK to take the weight loss jab. It's called fat shaming. Outrageous. Next up, The Guardian. What nonsense has The Guardian got in it today? Nope. That ain't it. Starmer to toughen migration rules and challenge to reform. Mental. See, we need people, especially here in Scotland where we have an actual social care system. We need people to work in the care sector. And as we're in, people are no willing to do it. We were relying on Eastern Europeans, but they're all gone now. Now we need to cast the net wider afield. But Starmer's about to clamp down on it, which will collapse our social care system. It doesn't matter to those in England. They don't have a fucking social care system, an integrated one anyway. Mental. Try out reform. That's not a good idea. There it is. Not a good idea. Well, we're going further and further to the right, folks. And it gets a wee bit more scary as we get into this particular type of headline. You know, what's the eye got for us today? Shall we have a look? The eye newspaper has. Migrants must earn the right to stay in UK and improve their English in new Labour crackdown. I thought, So we're going to have brown shirts running about to make sure that people who have migrated here can speak English or their English is improving all the time, or else what? I guess there's going to be a new sector open up in the economy to police migrants' language skills. What a lot of fucking nonsense. Can he be policed? A lot of nonsense. Not so much shite in all your life. A mental case. Rosie, pay the social care workers more money. Then they might want to do the job. They might. But as it's a vacation and no a job, it's not something that's there for everybody to do. Taking care of people is a vacation. It's definitely not a job. But paying them a decent wages would be a good start. They're on about £12.50 an hour. The Scottish Government's ambitions to get them at £15 an hour, but by the time they get there, inflation will mean the £15 an hour is only worth what £12.50 an hour they're getting at the moment, So away it goes. Right, what's the Telegraph got for us today? Let's see what the Telegraph's got for us today. Starmer to shut ECHR migrant loopholes. PM will tighten legislation that lets judges block deportation of foreign criminals. Let me rewrite that headline for you. Fascist bastard to deny people their human rights. There you go, folks. Because when you deny an immigrant their rights, it's no a big leap forward to deny indigenous citizens their rights, especially in England, where the only citizens are subjects. So they're subject to the whim of the establishment. And mere weight loss nonsense. And something to do with cricket. Not exactly something that would interest us here in Scotland. Right. Motoring through this morning, folks. Motoring through it. Next up, we'll get an Arsenal. Let's get an Arsenal up for you. What's the national vote for us today? Police call for ceasefire. Pope calls for ceasefire in Gaza and just peace in Ukraine. Curbs utterly devastating for Scotland. Labour to close care worker visa route from overseas recruitment and extreme new anti-immigration measures. So trying to out for eyes isn't really a big deal here because Morgan McSweeney, who runs a Labour Party with an iron fist, is no Starmer, folks. You can tell by how stupidly clumsy he is when you see him in front of the TV screens. The strings are being pulled by a guy called Morgan McSweeney. But this is madness. This is madness in lots and lots of levels. So it is. And next thing we'll be seeing Donald Trump type behaviour. Round them up, put them in a plane and ship them out to somewhere. Fascism has arrived, folks. Authoritarianism has arrived. Right, nice way to start on Monday. Take that down. Next up, we have the Herald, and the Herald goes on mere nonsense. I seem to have taken that down. Right, what's the Herald telling us? Number of cancelled island ferry services up by 531%. Funny that, when I was looking at the figures earlier, on hit and schedule, 99.34% for Calmac. That's fucking phenomenal. That means there must have been only 5 or 6 fucking routes cancelled. And it's probably up about 19 routes cancelled. That's where they get a 500% fair. 20 routes cancelled. Or sailings cancelled. That's where they get a 531% pay. Because people, believe me, just put into your search engine. Well, I'll do it again now. Anyway. Yeah, we'll just stick it up for you to see, folks. You see, when you see nonsense like this, you say to yourself, nah, that's fucking no right there. We'll just take that down. So mind that Herald headline about 531%. But let's have a look, shall we? We'll put it up for you. What percentage of Calmac ferries run on schedule? Let's have a wee look. Calmac ferries aim for high reliability and punctuality. They claim to achieve 99.57% punctuality and 99.51% technical reliability. However, recent reports suggest significant issues with scheduled sailings, with only a few days in a 15-month period running on time. Well, how can they claim 99.57% punctuality and technical reliability if only 15 days out of 15 months see them run on schedule and on time? I'm a bit confused by this stuff, folks. Well, show more. So scheduled sailings, 1,024 on time were 996. There you go. There's your 531%. 15 fucking late sailings. 15! Wow. Unbelievable. Just not good enough, is it? 15 late sailings in a year. Wow. That's no good enough, Calmac. Get your fucking act together. Couldn't they make it up? Well, it appears they are making it fucking up. Unbelievable. Larry, I'll need to mind them nip out of your channel, sir, and get signed up to it. Yeah, folks, go subscribe to Sir Larry the Cat's channel. Alistair, stick a link in for me, will you? Right, so as a herald, a lot of bollocks about sailings. Say you just had the figures, 124 scheduled sailings, 996 of them on time, 15 of them late. Oh, actually, it's more than that, isn't it? It's 28. So 15 late, the rest were cancellations. 15 late, and the rest are cancellations out of 28 sailings that were either cancelled or late. Could they make it up? Right, what's the Metro go for us a day? No. I'll face Putin to get peace, and this is the news that Zelensky and Putin are to meet in Istanbul to see if they can negotiate a truce, a ceasefire, a peace deal even. See if Zelensky's willing to cede the land that Putin wants. If he does, there's no rare earth minerals for Donny. Right, what's the scum got for us a day? It's a crime story, and you know I don't put the scum up. For those that don't know who the scum is, it is the Sun. And it goes on a crime story. Battle for a justice. Unmask the teen yob who knifed our son. Parents want Blade Fiend 14 named. This is a story that's recently just been in the news here, where a 14-year-old boy and a 16-year-old boy, two gangs, met up in a park in Glasgow, and the 14-year-old boy stuck a knife through the 16-year-old boy's heart. But because the boy who stuck the knife through the 16-year-old's heart is under 16, he can't be named for legal reasons. But the parents want him named. So that's what scum goes on the day. Right. Next up is the Scottish version of the English right-wing rag, the Fail. And it's got new warning over patient safety as ambulance service crisis grows. Minibus medics sent to answer 999 calls. Yeah, look into that. I mean, we do know that the NHS uses PTVs, patient transfer vehicles they're called. But if you've got a trained paramedic and the equipment on a minibus, why not? Why not? If you're short of ambulances and you've got your PTVs there, if you can send out a paramedic and get somebody back safely in a PTV, patient transfer vehicle, then why not? I don't see why not. Right. Now what's the other right-wing English knuckle-draggers rag got for us a day, which is published here in Scotland? Let's have a look and see what the Express has. Whistleblower claims lives being put at risk in Specialist Scots Harps Hospital. Golden Jubilee team works 36-hour shifts. Nonsense. An unnamed whistleblower could have made this story up out of fresh fucking air. Is it possible that some of these specialists were in the hospital for 36 hours, carrying out complex procedures? Aye, but there were sleeping quarters there. But 36 hours straight shift? No, doesn't happen. And the Golden Jubilee, folks, is one of the best heart hospitals in the world, with some of the best and dedicated surgeons in the world. That's just nonsense. Whistleblower. I could have wrote that myself. In fact, pick a hospital. Pick a hospital and I'll make something up about it just by saying whistleblower. Whistleblower tells us 9 well hospitals hodge wild orgies every afternoon for patient health. There you go, just made it up. That's what that is. Absolute fucking nonsense. Right. After the knuckle draggers rag, we've got the Rancid. What's the Rancid go for us today? Well, it goes in a crime story as well. Exclusive new twist in Turf Wars. Mr. Big Snub's rival gang's peace plea. Bonzo Daniels reached out to Kingpin behind firebomb campaign. Then I guess the Daniels family are losing the turf war. But I don't really care. I don't live in their world. They can burn each other's house down, exterminate each other all they fucking want. One less problem on the streets, he says hard-heartedly. And jokingly, because there's children involved. If they don't want these things going on, don't get involved in crime. Unbelievable. Junior doctors get their 1 and 2 rotas sorted owing to patient safety. Was normal practice a couple of decades ago, was it? Aye, Sir Larry, exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Whistleblower says they're eating dogs and they're eating the cats at local hospital. Well done, Sir Larry. We could all do it. Hey. Unbelievable nonsense. To say, but on the crime story in the Rancid, it would appear the Daniels clan are losing. As far as I know, the Daniel clan is the West Coast clan. I don't know who the kingpin in the East is. I really don't. Right. Just about on schedule. We'll see what the stars got for us today, shall we? To start the week. Well, actually, the star goes with a weather-related story. And the star has 27 degrees hotter than Malta. Malteser, hottest spring as 2 weeks heat wave starts today. Well, I don't know where the star's been, but I could have sworn it started last Monday. Because it's been hot and sunny. Here in Salisbury since last Monday, more or less. And we've got the same fat jab to fight cancer. As I say, it's nonsense, folks. It's speculation that this fat jab, if you lose the weight, means you're not going to be, you're less susceptible to 13 cancers directly related to obesity. But this jab's not been around long enough for them to make these claims. This is propaganda for West Streeting to get people who are carrying a wee bit too much weight into the surgeries because West Streeting wants to test drive this jab for the pharmaceutical companies who are paying them to do it. Okay. Right, that's that. First day under our belt. And as usual, we're shite at everything, we're bad at everything, and we must be told so to keep us in our place from our colonising masters. We must not be allowed to accept a mindset that we are capable of doing things for ourselves. But as I keep saying, on every metric, if you were comparing apple to apple, Scotland's public services, including medical services, outstrip the rest of the UK's. Simple as that. They might not like it. They might have to keep telling us, the people who invented the modern world, that we are crap and we are incapable of doing things for ourselves, but we are not. In fact, it's so easy to debunk the shite in the papers, it doesn't take long at all. It takes me a couple hours in the morning. But to have the idiots next door who have wrecked the economy, who have constantly kept people in poverty since the 1950s and before, who have failed to balance up in 300 years, who have lost a full empire, want to tell the rest of us we're fucking inadequate. If you want to see inadequate, look at Westminster. Look at Labour, look at Tory, look at Reform. Look at the failures of the Conservative and Labour Party over the last 50 years. Thanks, Alistair. And then look at the achievements that we have achieved in 25 years of devolution. And that's with just a smidgen of power. Imagine what we could do with all the powers of an independent state. Eyes on the prize, folks. See you all tomorrow morning. Look after each other. Bye for now.